Live from Loudon! Welcome, race fans, one and all, back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we get set to duke it out once again for Monday Night Prime Time. Welcome to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and welcome back to the High Tide Racing League. This is the opener of the round of 8. My name is Mullet alongside Derek Watson. We are bringing you all of racing action on a fantastic Monday night. Derek, first time we have been to New Hampshire Motor Speedway on this channel in almost half a year, and the first time we get to see it in all of its glory with the brand new scan that iRacing put out a couple of updates ago. Gosh, this place looks good, and it feels good to be back at the Magic Mile.
Yeah, welcome to New England, welcome to New Hampshire, home of great seafood, some cold winters, some great racing, and more. So here we are at this beautiful 1 point, well, up for debate. It's somewhere between a 1 and 1.05 mile track, depending on who you're letting measure it, IndyCar or NASCAR. But we've got some great battles in these really tight racing quarters, very small degrees of banking, and playoff points on the line. I'm excited for all this to see how it goes here. Look at these points here. This is the drivers up at the top after the last eliminator round. So you got, starting at the top, Dalton Kilroe, of course, still leads here. Then you got Michael Thorpe Jr., Ty Marasco, Dustin Ping, Brian Dees, David Lakey, Scott Shire, and Sean Williams. So some stories to follow here. Michael Thorpe Jr. not here. He is still sick with the flu, so he's going to start with the way behind the 8 ball. But what I love about this system, look at that, only 12 points separates these top 8, Nolan. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, no mulligans. This is just live rounds every week.
And we've been talking about it the last few weeks, right, about how insane this round is going to be. You've got two tracks that have a lot of contact involved in them, right? New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Phoenix Raceway. Two tracks that are known for the contact. They're known for the door-to-door racing that we are so well aware of. Sometimes people like to call New Hampshire Martinsville on steroids. It's got a little bit more banking. It's, of course, double the length. It's a good bit wider as well. But the contact and the fierceness of the race that can take place here does not go away. What they are sandwiching, though, is Talladega, the biggest, the baddest track on the NASCAR calendar. And all of this means we are setting up for what could be a very shocking Final Four drivers in just 1 month's time.
Yeah, who knows, right? There's really an odd common thread, I think, between this week and Talladega next week, which is survival, because this track on the straightaways is not really wide. So if something happens here on the front straight, survival and wreck avoidance will be a key skill these drivers will need to have, and we'll see who has that and who doesn't have that as the day goes on. But qualifying is underway. There's someone spinning across the start-finish line. I saw that right there live, and some more drivers come around. This is our warm-up practice. Qualifying is already over, Nolan, so our grid has been set for this race.
Our grid's been set, and that means we're able to kind of get into a little bit more of what the nuances of this race are going to be, right? Let's take a look at the weather conditions entering today. 71 degrees Fahrenheit on the circuit. That is one of the coldest track temperatures that we have seen. That's at the point where it is dangerously cold. We've seen a lot of loss of grip from hot racetracks over the last few weeks, particularly in the SRA IL Truck Series, but that threat doesn't go away for low temps either.
No, that's really, you're right. That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, is that there is colder weather does typically produce more grip, but there's a certain point where it kind of tips backwards a little bit, right? And you can start to lose just this little slick. It's a little icy, if you will. Not that icy at 71, but that's the best analogy I can make for you, how that works. So I'm curious to see how it works if the track will warm up as the day goes on. You know, maybe put some grip in there, put some heat in those tires, put some cars on track, and kind of see where this race takes us. But 24 cars are here the last I looked, and it's going to be a lot of race cars for a 1 mile track.
A lot of race cars indeed, and we'll be seeing who's going to start where out of those 29 in just a few moments. For now, we're going to take ourselves a quick step back. We'll get through our opening ceremonies, and when we return, it's time to see who starts where for the first race in the round of 8 on Green Flag TV.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And with that, checkered flag is going to fall on qualifying here from Loudon, New Hampshire. Time to see who's going to line up where as we get set to kick off the round of 8 on Green Flight TV. Started on pole position this afternoon, it is going to be none other than Dustin Ping, your defending champion. And how about this, Derek? 3-way dead heat tie for pole position. If that doesn't lead to what might be one of the most thrilling battles all season, I don't know what will. Austin McGill starts in second on the front row. Kilroe, the current points leader, in third. John Osborne back in fourth. Benjamin Lacey in fifth. Scott Shire back in sixth. Then it's Derek Paulson, Ethan Sikorsky, Bob Berry, and Jaden Hopp to round out the top 10.
Going back to P11, Paul Sathmary with Connor Gibson on the outside, P12. Row 7 is Jonathan Cadell and Larry Bell with Jason Greenwell and Sean Williams back there, 15th and 16th in row 8. Row 9, P17 is Michael Keithley with Kevin Foster. And then row number 10, Ty Marasco and Brian Dees.
Bottom 5 or 6 drivers not often put down time. Started off course with Brian Dees. Same story for David Lakey, Tanamar, Hayden Gargiulo, and Robert Lukens to close out the field for the Peak Precision Motorsports driver. But how about that, though? 3-way tie. Now, you and I both know how insane that is at a track where that's possible, like a super speedway. At New Hampshire? That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, the fact they went that far down to decimal points to have to decide it. We see 3 of them within iRacing, so they'll go down deeper. Now, you're right, that's incredible. I mean, that's 2 I've seen commonly, but 3 is, wow, 3 is something special. Well, here we go. We'll get around here and get these pace laps in. I'll be ready to go in just a moment here. And Dustin Payne is going to lead us around here. I'm excited to see this. Excited to see Austin McGill up in the front row. So we'll see how this plays out here pretty quickly. 150 laps. I mean, we're talking roughly 30-second laps. These are not long laps. These laps will tick by quickly, Nolan, if we stay green.
Oh, absolutely they will. This race could fly by. It could go slowly. Who knows? It could go either way. We've seen how these races can get slowed down with a few key yellows, and you and I are predicting we might get a few of those yellows early on, but whether that will be the case or not this afternoon remains to be seen. The iRacing pace car going to get set to pull down into pit road this time by. And we're ready to once again get the party started. Into the Guy Caristar zone. Ping nearly makes contact with McGill. It's go, go, go for the Magic Mile.
A couple weird things that happened already in the first lap here that I've noticed. I mean, obviously Ping getting up there almost into Austin McGill on the coming to the green was weird. But look how this is just single file up with that big gap to the front too. But then everyone else are running the high side of this track. And for the first lap, McGill is your leader.
Austin McGill takes the lead early from your defending champion into turn numbers 1 and 2, entering the second lap of this race. Ping almost caught the wall trying to catch up. Further behind, Connor Gibson side by side with Ethan Sikorsky. One thing that strikes me about this race, look at how much separation there is from all of the drivers within the top 8 of the points. That is massive in a playoff race like this.
Yeah, it really shows that we're back to short track racing, and that's a skill that I think often maybe doesn't get practiced enough. You and I talked about how we've not been to this track in a while, and you look at typically a lot of league schedules, there's not a lot of short track racing on the schedules because of the amount of cautions and chaos it can provide. And therefore, it's not a skill everyone possesses. This is definitely, I think, you know, obviously super speedway is probably the skill that everyone's the most even on, if you want to be honest with you. Maybe mile and a halves. But then you get down, you mix up either short tracks or road courses. And those really do show you who the better drivers are, because those are not the skills that everyone possesses, as we're almost 3 wide here.
Yeah, look at John Osborne going around the outside of 3 wide there, coming down the front stretch into turn number 1. A great move there for Osborne. Gibson kind of caught in the middle of a bunch of cars here. He's got Ethan Sikorsky down low, Paul Satmary around the outside, and Satmary really sending it in deep in a 3 and 4, trying to make something happen. But that number 24 Camaro will hit the front straightaway once again. All of the side-by-side battles so far, for the most part, has been with drivers that are outside of the points looking in. Satmary sent up the track and won.
Wow, it's kind of bobbled that car, got something, got nervous by the potential contact. But you talked about how widespread the field are as far as the points are. Look how much gap there is between all these drivers on track. I mean, sometimes when we think of short tracks, we think of Martinsville or we think of Bristol, where everyone's kind of on top of one another. But look at the gaps in the field here. This is turning out to be a decent race pretty quickly, where people are just going to make some moves on the inside. There's Ty Marasco in the 1. He is one of our playoff drivers, turning back in P14. Look, he's riding it a little high, doesn't want to ride the bottom corner. Whoa, is that him or is the car in front of him? We saw smoke to his tires there. Was that smoke in a wall?
Yeah, that was Jonathan Canfield catching the outside wall on the exit of 2 as we hit the back straightaway. Able to gather it up with the Guardian Esports number 16 entry in the Camaro. Up the field, Austin McGill being put under some pretty hefty fire here from Dustin Ping. Ping is not allowed for McGill to get away, and Kilroy's just biding his time, running back there in second.
And that may be a great strategy by Dalton Kilroy, because a lot of drivers here will really race really hard to begin this race. And they'll burn off some tires, they'll burn up their brakes, they'll burn up some equipment here early. And if you're someone who's patient, maybe if you're a Kilroy, a Lacey, a Paulson back there, 3rd through 5th, you can benefit from this pretty big. Once people wear off their equipment, they're going to fall like a rock here at New Hampshire. So we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, boy, oh boy, great run by Austin McGill so far. Led the first lap and has not looked back here as we're just about to start lap number 9.
He might have to start looking back here before too long. Dustin Payne trying to open up the door, gets to the inside of the quarter panel, and 4 can't slide up, though, to get the nose in there by the time they get off the corners. So Payne will remain in lockstep here for the top spot for the time being. He's trying to find a way through, though, because I think he realizes sooner or later Dalton Kilroy's going to get that long run pace kicked in. He's going to catch him. He's got to make that move before that happens.
Yeah, I love what McGill is doing, sort of racing a bit of a defensive line, if you will. And why it's defensive is that when you ride up a little bit above a car, you're not allowing Dustin Ping to get a full run off the corner. You're not allowing him to track up all the way and get all the speed he wants off the corner. And so therefore, you're kind of being defensive about it. So that's a great run there. That time by, we saw actually Ping kind of bump McGill a little bit, see if he can maybe make the bump and run happen. But did not work just yet. But look how everyone's tracking almost to the wall here. It's a great run now. So now that Ping gets a good run for a couple of laps, I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to dive a corner here, just randomly, see if he can catch McGill off guard.
Got one car deep into turn number 3. That's Tanner Marr, the USAFirearms.com entry, way up the racetrack in turn 4. Nearly catches the wall. Looked like Satmary might have had a moment in the back straight. He was kind of letting through a bunch of these guys. That is a weird moment, though, to have happen all throughout as they got down the back chute last time by.
Never would have convinced me he was going to fit that car. Oh, hold on, we got a yellow out. Yellow's out. Bob Berry's around. We're watching a replay here. We'll come back live in a moment, find out what happened to Bob Berry. But there it is. He's turned around on the back straight. And that's caution number 1, 11 laps. And Justin went to replay. Ooh, that car is beat up. They got the, that's the dark smoke. That's the end of the day for Bob Berry.
Austin McGill holds on to the lead of this race. Let's find out what happens to put us under caution flags for the first time tonight.
You see Berry here up in the top here. That's that red and yellow machine. And I think we might see some contact incoming.
Ooh, Sikorsky drifted up.
Just drifted up in the corner, and there's nothing Berry could do. He's on for the ride, off the wall. And boy, bad news for Berry. If he did done that maybe, 50 feet later, he could have used all that off-track space right there. But nope, in the wall. He is hood beat up, dark smoke. Watch this again here from the onboard. Watch to your left if you even see it. Now this happens behind him. You saw the 5. The 5 got around fine. Oh man, that's a hard hit. It's the car behind him. Sikorsky, the 94, that made the contact.
Right here, coming off the corner. I think Sikorsky expected for Barry to track out a bit wider than he ended up doing so, and that's kind of contributed to that a little bit. But that's, you got to be in control of your own car, right?
Yep, certainly do. Well, we're under caution here. Can tell you only a few drivers are down pit road. Larry Bell, Kevin Foster, obviously Bob Berry is down there. Robert Lukens and Caden Gorgulio, our new rookie to the series, have all come down pit road. Everyone else has decided track position is more important. Now, why I love that call by these cars, Nolan, by Foster and Bell and Lukens and others, is that now if we do get a long green flag run after this, those guys are, 11, 12 laps to the good on gas, and that may mean something later. We'll find out. I don't know. But here's Caden Gorgulio, the Newport Richey, Florida native, making his debut here in the number 65 machine. So welcome in, Caden.
Gargiulo on a good start to his race. He's kept it clean so far. Running near the tail end, but still, you got to keep your nose clean at the end of the day if you want to make a good impression. So long as he keeps doing that, should be smooth sailing for him. Meanwhile, we're doubled up. We're ready to go.
Yeah, this new system here, one less lap per caution, so it doesn't take quite as long. Now, McGill, of course, remember, he beats Ping to the line last time in the restart. Let's see how well McGill does at controlling the restart this time by.
It's always fun to see how one driver that's used to defending on a restart switches it up to attacking on a restart, especially when they're on an opposing lane. It really kind of gives an insight as to what kind of a mindset these drivers take with one another. You said we're going to get set to go back to green flag racing this time by. Pace car is off. And Austin McGill leads the way to the Geico restart zone. We're back to green.
Well, you could almost argue Dustin Ping was not ready there. Got a big gap between McGill and Ping. Look at this. Kilroe this time right up there on top of Ping. He's not going to let him go. He's trying to stick right there to his inside quarter panel. Wants to make his presence felt. Wants to see if he can make Ping nervous. See if he can kind of rattle him off his game.
Trying to make something happen as we work our way through turn numbers 3 and 4 to the front straightaway. No dice so far. Austin McGill maintains his strong run out at the head of the field. Dustin Ping looking low, trying to get to the inside bumper. And the 99 entry will hold station off of turn 2. And Ping will be forced to tuck back in line.
Yeah, a couple things are happening there. One, as we said before, Ping's not able to get the full track out. He's not able to get all the speed off the corner. That's what McGill is sort of blocking by being able to get out there on the top of that car and make that run well. The other thing that's happening is that, at least in a couple of these runs, Kilroe and others are sort of in line. There's someone well off track. Who is that? The 83? That's Jason Greenwell. He's kind of running the road course, isn't he?
To the left front, that thing has been torn up somewhere on the racetrack, and looking like Tanner Marr way off the field as well may have also gotten involved in that incident, whatever it may have been. Front two continue to take off, and this is what we have just seen with Greenwell and Marr, and oh boy.
Oh, just got hooked. Just got hooked into the outside wall. Now that's, we're talking about Barry.
Caution.
Yeah, I have a little surprise actually with the caution, but that's what we said for Barry. Barry was hoping to have been able to use all the off-track space. You saw they still hit the wall, but a lot less aggressive of a hit from Bob Barry suffered a moment ago. Now here's still McGill holding off Ping on the outside. Ping's going to have to maybe, I guess, either get a massive run into the corner and slide job this in, or he is going to have to bump McGill a little bit and kind of wiggle that car if he wants to take this front spot, it feels like. Because right now, I mean, McGill is just doing a beautiful job at defending P1.
McGill's good on defense. It's where he thrives. We've seen him in that position time after time again throughout his part-time career. And every time he gets up in front, you're hard-pressed to try and find a way to get around that 99 entry. And I don't feel like this is going to be changing anytime soon. What will change is hands in the battle for 10th here. Ty Marasco going to get up at a 10th around Connor Gibson.
Yeah, doing a great job and sort of, wow. Kind of, I won't say squeezing. Squeezing might be an aggressive word, but definitely making his presence felt there through the corner and saying, hey, I'm here. You know, kind of getting a little close. Here's Ben Lacey on the outside in that Thunder and Lightning machine. Ben, of course, one of the surprises to not be involved in the round of 8. This had a pretty tough postseason run here, a playoff run. Still out here running for points, running for pride. Now passing around Jaden Hopp here. And these guys are now in line and running around. This is back for P4, by the way.
The battle for 4th is on. Derek Paulson sits just behind. Might try to see if he can have a look to get to the inside in some way or some fashion. And just behind them, you see Connor Gibson and Jonathan Canfield exchanging blows.
All right, see here, car, that's Brian Dees here.
Brian Dees failed to make the start of this race, so he is just getting out onto the racetrack for the first time tonight, and he is going to be, might have caught the line there, getting out of pit
wondering.
road.
Let me take a look and see if we can get a word from race control.
Oh,
Nope.
trouble! Look out! McGill's just been dumped for the lead by Ping. Round he goes, caution's out. What a save, though.
I was going to say no penalty for Dees, and as I turned my head to check, that move happened, and I sort of missed it. Oh, my goodness. Wow, that's aggressive. That's probably, let's wait for the replay before I pass judgment, but if it really is a bump and run or a dump and run, that's aggressive. Let's watch it here. There you see that's going to be Ping on the inside. It's going to be McGill on the outside. They're going to come together at some point, wait for it out of the corner. Oh, yeah, that's just...
Tell you what, McGill did a phenomenal job to keep that car off the wall. Everybody did a good job to miss him as well.
Yeah, did a great job. You saw a mix of holding the brake and also revving it up. Sometimes holding the brake will cause a car just to kind of skid. So he also kind of revved it up through a little bit of momentum into the car. Good news, McGill says there's no damage to the car, but I mean, for Dustin Ping, he just came up out of the corner, and you could almost argue that maybe Ping thought McGill was going to track out, but we weren't to that point of the corner yet, I don't think. I think that watches here from the inside, this is from Dustin Ping. It's almost like he expected McGill to track out, but I don't think they were quite to that part of the corner for the track out to really happen, and then, yeah.
Elton Kilroe picks up the race lead after Dustin Ping comes down pit road. This is what he saw.
Wow. What he almost saw was a race ender right there. It would have taken one wrong spin the other way, and Dalton Kilroe would have been sandwiched into the wall right there in that moment. Well, boy, that's just how fast this race happened. We were talking about black flags and penalties and lap times and all this other stuff, and next thing you know, someone's turned around here on this racetrack.
Curious that Ping decided to come down the pit road immediately after that as well. Wonder if he may have been potentially trying to like self-penalize himself a bit there. He did take a 4-tire stop, so he does have now 23 lap fresher tires than pretty much everybody else in the field just about. On 1 degree.
And I think that may be the bigger reason. Yeah, as we're 1 degree here, I think that may be the bigger reason. You know, see if you have any damage to the front end. You know, this is a bit of an aero-dependent track, and also, you know, come in and get new tires. I mean, if you're the only one who does it, you're 23 laps to good. You know, we'll see where it plays out. So he may have a big strategy planned out here for Dustin Ping if this stays green. But here we go. New top 5, Kilroe, Lacey, Paulson, Hopp, and Sikorsky up there in the top 5.
Dalton Kilroe, interestingly enough, opting for the outside lane on the restart on this one. Now, that's something I'm curious about. You can get a pretty good run if you can make that outside lane work for you. That's a difficult challenge to do, though. We'll see if he'll be one of those that might be able to get the job done. Entering the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Let's get back to it on lap 26. Well, I think a big jump would be putting it mildly.
Yeah, I was skeptical of the outside lane. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but it's worked out pretty darn well for Dalton Kilroe. And look at that side-by-side battle of Paulson and Lacey behind him. And the longer they stay side by side, the bigger that jump gets here for your race leader. But man, they are almost three wide at points down through this field. And that's the appeal of this racetrack, Nolan. I think a lot of people forget.
Oh.
Hold on, we got a yellow.
Back of the
It's
field.
in the back of the field.
Foster got lifted up on top of Lukens, I think.
Wow. There's another instance of that dark smoke. That's going to be your second car out of the race here. We've already got a good number of cars out of the race here. We'll go through that in a moment. But let's watch and see what happens. There's Dustin Ping back there. He just pitted, so he might find himself regretting that decision. Watch at the top of your screen. They're going to come together in the middle.
Oh, man. One come up,
Ping
one
just
come
got
down,
around.
one going around. Oh, Bell!
Hey, Bell. Oh yeah, right there. Just was not able to avoid him and lifted him up in the air, and that'll be the end of that. Boy. Watch this again. That's Ping right there. The black, red, and white machine. He's going to come to the top of the track and barely avoid this. Larry Bell. I think Larry Bell actually, unfortunately, does get damaged, by the way. So I think Larry Bell got nervous and swung the car to the left. Watch this here. We're actually just up ahead here, right there.
Oh,
He saves it.
How about
good
that?
job, Larry Bell.
Great job.
Yeah, that's a great save right there. Well, I told you there's a number of cars already out of the race, Nolan. So here's who's not here. We got 3 cars already out. That's Dees, Barry, and Greenwell. Already have disconnected, and I believe we just saw our 4th car with that big puff of smoke. So here we are 28 laps in, and 4 of your 24 cars are already basically out of this race.
This will be on board with Lukens. He is making his way back out onto the racetrack. So the Peak Performance Motorsports driver not out of the fight yet.
Wow.
Aye.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I think it's the car in front of him. I think that's going to be probably not there anymore. Wait and see how that plays out. Well,
we got everybody back on the track. It was only those 3, Greenwell, Barry, and Dees.
All right. Well, it's Kilroe Lacey again. Hops up there. Paulson, Sikorsky's up there. So right after Dalton Kilroe, this is prime. I mean, you came in tonight with the points lead. Currently, you lead the race. You're going to gain points on everyone. You got a 5-spot lead over Scott Shire and Ty Marasco. So for Dalton Kilroe right now, I mean, we're only 20-ish laps, almost 30 laps in. But this is ideal. This is the way you want this race to go.
McGill caught in 2 cautions in a row. First one, he definitely was not at fault. Second one, you could put it probably about 50-50, leaning more towards McGill. He did come down 3 lanes, while Foster only drifted up about half of one. But regardless, pace cars off, green flag set to come back out. We're racing once again in Loudon.
Well, let's see how this restart goes. You and I talked pre-race about what this race could be, and we talked about the possibility, oh boy, that cautions. Well, I hate the phrase cautions breed cautions. It's so overused, but I mean, it's accurate sometimes. And boy, we almost saw it again with Marasco and Shire back there for P6 and 7. They got it cleared up.
It's an ugly term. No commentator likes using it, right? But I mean, it's one of those things where, for lack of a better word, there's nothing else to describe, especially when you get another one. Oh, did somebody just go into the pit wall? We're still wrecking, by the way.
Jaden Hop either, I thought he kind of headed the barrels, but he's down on pit road now. I said, oh no, I thought Hop was going to be heading the barrels. Well, I think it's going to be John Osborne and Scott Shire might be the cause. We'll wait and see here.
It's coming down the back straightaway into turn number 3, watching Paulson.
So here's Ben Lacey back in that 7 in the 3rd place car here, the one furthest to the right. We see he's going to get turned around at some point, so let's keep an eye there. Oh, I don't know if he got to the 6 or if it's just some extra factors were involved. Now watch this right here. Watch Jaden hop that black and pink machine. Oh my God!
It was a wise
I thought
choice.
for sure he was heading to the barrels, Nolan.
And then Williams got up into Michael Keithley, and that spun the 16 sideways. Dustin Ping had to get on the binders to avoid getting into that.
I think on board with Jaden Hop would be a blast. It's going to be stress-inducing to watch here. If or when we get there. Well, let's watch this again here.
We'll get there, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will. But let's watch this again. Did he actually make contact? Maybe the slightest. I don't know. But then
that's one of those cases where even if they weren't, they were probably going to anyway.
And then watch how tight this front straight gets. By the way, it's very narrow on the front straight, and very quickly it clogs up like a 7 a.m. traffic jam on your way to work.
This is with Hobb. He was already clutching coasting into that corner. And then Lacey tries to go up the inside. Pulls and shuts the door. Little whoopsie-daisy.
All right, well, let's talk this through after we watch this replay. There's been another on board here. Watch how scary this is going to get. This kind of lifts. Watch him. Watch him. Oh my God. Well, at this point, I will say, by the way, a lot of pit stops just happened here, Nolan, on lap 32. Let's go through some of the names here. Michael Keithley, Sean Williams, Derek Paulson, David Lakey, Robert Lukens. Now, you could argue some of them are with damage, but there's only about, 7 cars now that have not taken gas or tires in this race.
Those 7 cars being Kilroe, Sikorsky, Marasco, Shire, Gibson, Canfield, and Satmary. Then the 4 cars behind them have pitted, but not under this caution flag. Those drivers are Ping on 23. On 27, you have McGill, as well as Bell, and Gargiulo on lap 12. Green flag will be back out the air this time by. Expect for the other 7 to come down when we get another yellow. We get back to it, down to turn 1.
Beautiful push down the front straight by Marasco to Kilroe. I was impressed by that move right there, and they got him a big jump over Sikorsky. Man, this track is just crazy. We'll talk about it more as the night goes on, but the way it sort of provides like a short track corners with high speed straightaways provides a lot of this insane racing. 3 wide at times, 2 wides. Look at him again, offset 3 wide. How did it just, my goodness, that was the 81 there. Was that Ping? That is Ping right there. He is pushing to the inside of the 24, Paul Sathmary. Ping wants to get back to this field.
I think Ping is seeing some of that desperation, right? I think now that he's actually in the round of 8, because remember, he kind of lucked his way into the Final 4, but the fact that he's now officially in the round of 8 on pace, I think you can smell the fact that his championship could be slipped away from him at any point, and he wants to be able to get himself as secure as possible. You don't want to be in an unsafe position going into Talladega, because that is going to be a devastating race for anybody's championship hopes if somebody makes even the slightest of wrong moves. The problem is Ping's already found himself in trouble once or twice tonight. He can't afford many more mistakes.
No, but the good news for Ping right now, he is the first car on new tires. So the way he's kind of able to kind of bully his way through or power his way through this field right now is those new tires are paying dividends here. As we're working lap 36, almost 37 under green. He pitted about 13, 14 laps ago. Even if some of those laps are under caution, those tires are going to warm up and cool down and wear off. So Ping will get the advantage the longer this run goes.
Connor Gibson and Scott Shire going to exchange blows, and Ping again tries to put it 3 wide, looking for the inside into turn numbers 3 and 4. Question is, can he hold the move? He's got the run on the bottom side, clears across the track and nearly wrecks himself.
Luckily for Ping, Shire got clear on the outside and only left him 2 wide. Had they stayed 3 wide like that, Ping would have been in trouble with Connor Gibson. This is... I get why you're aggressive, Nolan, because you have new tires, you want to move to the front, you want to make up some space, but this is almost on the verge of too aggressive. This is the point where, like, you're almost wrecking your race car and throwing away every advantage you have. This is getting a little too much.
Yeah, this is what playoffs do, though, right? This is that desperation that sets him for a championship. Trouble front straightaway. Jared Hopp's going around on the front. And he's going to collect one of David Lake. We got more problems. Satmary's also going around, along with Lacey. I believe that may have been Lacey going around instead of Stat.
I thought I saw Lacey going around again. I think John Osborne's going to be involved in this when we get a full replay as well. So I don't know what's going to happen. Watch this here. There's Jaden Hopp on the inside, that black and pink machine. Let's take a look and see. He's safe
Osmo
here.
came off the wall.
Oh, he's going to get hooked. My goodness. Oh, he got his back end off the ground.
Heavy
Spinning
licking
around. About a half a pirouette. And there's David Lakey.
There's nowhere for
the
him to
84.
go.
I mean, I question that, to be honest with you. I know what you're saying, but just wonder what the closing speed was for Lakey to watch this here. Oh, there's a separate car to the inside. What's that?
That was Keith Lee.
That was Keith.
And it was Sam Mary going around in turn
I think there's multiple incidents here. This is not, this is like, really, we're referencing Michael Keithley's car. Remember, he had that old Shrek car. This is sort of like an onion here of a wreck that has layers to it, like an ogre. It has this as layers. There's multiple things going on here. Because Sathmary just...
He got sent.
Yeah, well after.
I wonder if he was checking up for the caution flag coming out.
It's a little too soon.
Lacey just didn't.
Yep, well, now everyone's down pit road. Now those tire advantages go away. But I see that Ty Marasco did not pit. We'll follow that story after we watch pit stops here. You see cars going up on the jack and new tires being put on. You see Larry Bell, Dalton Kilrow, Scott Shire's back there. The 94's back there. That's Sikorsky. But I showed Ty Marasco did not pit. Unless he's going to pit this time by. Maybe he missed the stall or he missed pit road entry and wasn't, meant to. Let's find out here as he comes around. This is where I think probably this is being too cute of a strategy. I think Nolan, if he is going to stay out. When everyone else has new tires, so let's go through that. It's Marasco up in one, Austin McGill, who pitted 15 laps ago, Jonathan Camfield, Paul Sathmary, and then the cars who have pitted at some point. So I think this is too cute. I think this is a little too meta. I think, unfortunately, they're probably going to get swallowed up by the other cars.
So he is not the only car that did not pit that time by. McGill pitted on lap 27, yes. But Canfield and Sathmary, I'm especially surprised about. Sathmary is still on the same tires he started this race on. He has not been to pit road at all today. Considering his tires just got shredded in turn one with that half spin, why would you not come down to pit road?
Yeah, you must have an idea in your head of a strategy, maybe breaking in the thirds, or I don't know why, but I would have been down pit road for sure. But sometimes, listen, you get addicted to being in front, and you go, hey, I'm in fourth, and you kind of say, well, let me try it out and see what happens. But look at that gap between Sathmary and the car leading outside. That's got to close up.
Green flag out this time by. Racing action resumes from the Hampshire Motor Speedway as Ty Marasco leads the way down to the turn number one. The field in hot pursuit. Around the top side goes McGill. Huge checkup deeper in the midfield.
Yeah, a little bit of contact throughout between the 16 and Sathmary as well. So lots going on here, but not very long before those cars who have pitted are going to find their way up to the front. There's Dustin Ping on the inside. Here's a battle for the front, though. This is McGill and Marasco. Remember, McGill pitted about 15 laps ago. Those are not brand new tires, but they're definitely newer than what Ty Marasco has.
Huge drive being made down to the turn number one. McGill's got the drive around the top side of the racetrack, and he's going to try to take that one away. Pinching in Marasco down on the inside as we get off of turn number four. Marasco still with the nose in. Gonna muscle McGill up the track in three. And still the fight remains hot and heavy. Contact for the lead.
And by the way, they always say like a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, what the words the pictures give me here is new tires. Because if you can power around someone on the outside of this track, you must have better tires. Because there's no way McGill should be up there competitive on the outside run there. Oh, there's Marasco getting wicked loose out of the corner, and he had to give up the lead.
Yeah, that'll be game over for Marasco in the bid for the lead for the time being. Way up the track is Caden Gargiulo, fighting his way into a top 10 in his debut start on an alternate pit strategy compared to a lot of other drivers. His last stop and his only stop so far was on lap number 12, so he is now starting to tumble through this field. Up ahead, Sathmary getting loose, and he's collecting Paulson.
Oh, he's falling back quickly here. Look at that. Sort of becoming in the way. See, Kilro's behind him. Boy, oh boy. Somewhere I think in Paul Southbury's mind, he must be kind of regretting that decision not to pit. He must be going, I probably should have done that.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I mean, these races could go either way, right? But you never know when it's going to get that long green flag run. And once you escape the first 5, 6, 7 laps or so of a race in New Hampshire, you're hard-pressed to find a yellow flag. But, I mean, these Xfinity cars, they can be unpredictable. And I think a lot of these guys are, they're trying to kind of play with the margins here. They're trying to figure out what could go where. They're trying to work this track in a bit more. Remember, they're trying to work some heat into this racing surface as well throughout the course of the night. Now, this track only at 71 degrees Fahrenheit, and I feel like all of the lapse pacing has not helped them on the mission to make this track warmer. Up the track is Canfield.
Wow, Canfield has basically got doored. I mean, my goodness, that was... I know we're up in New England where we play a lot of hockey. That was definitely a body check right there if I ever saw one between two race cars. But here, look at the front now. This is Connor Gibson now going around Ty Marasco.
Gibson gets around Marasco. Gargiulo gets cut off by Michael Keithley as Keithley starting to get the elbows out a little bit more. A 35 car has already found himself in an incident or two tonight. He's going to look to the inside of St. Mary. I'm a bit surprised that Keithley's back. I mean, we talked a lot after the Martinsville incident about how he was, of course, suspended for the 1 week, and we weren't sure we were going to see him back. Good to see him, though, back up on the racetrack, still trying to overcome what happened in Virginia.
Yeah, and this is kind of the perfect track for him in a sense. This is the track where you can come back now and prove, hey, all that shenanigans, all that, you know, rigmarole, the kerfuffle I had at Martinsville, that's just, you know, oh, I'm a different person now. This is the kind of track to prove that because it's also a short track. But here he is now racing on track here, doing a good job getting around here. And right now he's going to get up here and try to race with a playoff driver and Sean Williams next after just passing Jonathan Canfield.
I like to call this place as a short-ish track. I mean, more so a speedway that races like a short track. The short tracks typically consider anything under a mile. This track, just over 1, but when you compare this place to a place like Dover, and you're like, well, no, it's obviously not a speedway. So it is it's a nice short-ish track. Unless in SK Modified, then it may as well be Auto Club.
Yeah, I always like to think this as a short track with like super speedway style straightaways, right? They're long straights. You can get a good amount of speed down these straightaways, and that's sort of a problem you have, by the way, when you get down, when it get loaded up to the next corner. And this isn't like Martinsville where you barely get any speed movement. You can get a decent amount of speed here, and then have to worry about getting, you know, woed up in the corners and not overshooting them. So here's Connor Gibson now. By the way, this is for the lead. This is Connor Gibson. Now, he last pitted lap 41, so just that last caution, I believe. And he's now going to have brand new tires. He'll get around McGill, and I suspect he's going to quickly pull away all that grip in those tires. My goodness, never mind about that, because he was wicked loose out of the corner.
You got to be careful with that. I mean, the complicated curves, we haven't had it for a while, but I mean, it still exists, and superstitious we may be when it comes to that sort of thing, you know, brief like TV. But right now, four-way fight for the 4th place spot. Marasco, Ping, Paulson, and Sikorsky are all going at it, and in fact, Sikorsky trying to claw his way back to the field. He's one step closer to a top 5.
And Sikorsky riding the apron. That is wild. Like that will have some effects on a race car, what that would do for you. That will, wow, that'll typically make your car really loose when you get down there. Not because of being down there, but because of the transition back up. But, man, it did pretty well. Did a pretty good job, and almost saw contact between Ping and Marasco there.
Justin Ping takes another one. He's now up to 4th. He started this race from pole, and he is desperately trying to fight his way up there. So he'll continue his crusade to try and hunt a podium. Further behind, Benjamin Lacey knocked out of the playoffs last week, trying to work his way underneath Jonathan Canfield to get into 12.
Yeah, this night now is all about pride for Benjamin Lacey. Come out here and have a great few races to end. Prove to yourself you can do it. Maybe boost that morale, raise that confidence when you come back in a month or 2 for the next season. You come in there ready to go. There's a little bit of contact between Bell and Canfield, all sorted out. But Paul Southbury is made the field aware, Nolan. He's going to pit under green here. So Paul Southbury, there he is, under green, gets it down to speed. And he's probably going to go at least, I would think, 2 laps down by pitting this under green flag conditions.
One guaranteed, two possibly, depending on what type of a stop he does. Derek Paulson looking at the inside, and that stop, by the way, that's going to be for fuel, which means we can expect to see Ty Marasco coming in just a few moments here, I would reckon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa.
think, oh my goodness.
What was that?
Calm down. That was a really aggressive. I told you we had like super Speedway straightaways. That was a really awful pump trap between the 1 and the 6 is what that was. Watch it again here. This would be from Ty Marasco's point of view.
And this was coming off of turn 4.
Right here, it's going to come up on this straightaway here. Watch him get behind him, try to push him along.
Whoops. Now,
So
right there, we've seen some nasty wrecks entering turn 1, and there's nothing that puts a more sobering thought as to the sheer amount of speeds that you can carry into the corners here than seeing somebody getting hooked near the inside wall entering turn 1.
I was going to say that my takeaway from that moment, at least when we saw it live, based upon the amount of movement there was from the 6, I would have been convinced that Marasco hit Paulson more than once or had really just a nasty, awful bump. But that was just one bump to cause all that movement. I was kind of surprised, and I just thought it would have been more than that, honestly.
Fights on for the lead. Dalton Kilroe, the points leader, has caught Connor Gibson. He's going to make the power drive around the top side of 1 and 2. He'll hold it in 3. And as we work our way back around to the pit straight, can he take it off 4? Not quite. Gibson's got the line, but he's not going to fight it.
Yeah, Kilroe's doing a great job here of holding that defensive line, just not letting Gibson track out. We talked about it earlier. Here's another use of it. This is going to be Sikorsky. Now he's going to get around and track up there and almost pull the old slide job right there on his competitor. And that's the difference in how you make that move work. Nice job by Sikorsky getting around McGill. McGill once led this race, and I think maybe the older tires are starting to show their age here as he's getting passed by the field.
90 laps are on the boards this afternoon for the laps remaining. We're turning lap 61 of 150. Race starting to really get into its rhythm now that we've managed to escape the few initial green flag laps. Every time cars get side by side like what Derek Paulson and McGill are doing now, you get a little bit nervous because it doesn't take much to wash up. This is very much a momentum-based racetrack. And you really try to get into the rhythm of your braking points. There's nothing that disrupts those more than trying to overtake somebody on the inside, and almost always that leads to somebody washing up the track.
It can very much, especially if they're trying to be aggressive and how fast they're heading in. You carry too much speed in that corner, and you can't get it slowed up. And typically that will just carry up the track. There's a big wide pass by the 6 car there. That's Derek Paulson. He just completely shot around Austin McGill.
And McGill could have probably gone for another cutback there into turn number 1. Opted against it, though, which is an interesting choice, right? Usually you see drivers attempting that, but remember, McGill on old tires here, I think he's just biding his time and hoping the yellow can come out and get him on cycle. Yeah,
I think those tires were cooked. I think McGill is now feeling the effects of, 20 lap difference, in some case 15, 20 lap difference on these tires, and realizing just what that difference is here. I mean, that's what Paulson used to get around him, is those newer tires. Well, finally, Nolan, we're kind of, knock on wood, we're looking at a green flag run here. It'll be a while before pit stops are coming into play, and of course, all the different pit stop cycles, it'll be a lot of strategies playing out here, but everyone's now starting to get comfortable. And you see Scott Shire, he's now racing up here with Foster.
Sean Williams also going to look to the inside. This is a three-way battle for the 8th place spot on the racetrack. 2 of these drivers, of course, are playoff contenders, with Foster just going for extra brownie points on his season. Shire and Williams both going to look to take one away, and Shire started to take off with that 8th place spot. Now the Williams is trapped in a side-by-side fight with the number 8, but that's going to quickly get itself sorted, and not terribly surprised on that. We have another car down at the pit road. It is Jonathan Canfield.
Not a surprise there. Canfield's going to come down pit road and get some gas and fuel and do what he needs to do to keep this race moving. But as this green flag moves on here, Again, if we look at the strategy of where everyone pitted, this is going to get a little bonkers because we have probably 3 different pit cycles moving around here of, when someone pitted last, what have you, how much gas they was tired, whatever they need to get to the end. We'll keep an eye on that as the race goes on and see if that does play out. Right now, a beautiful battle on field. This is Scott Shire. There's Williams behind him, another playoff driver, and then Foster behind them. Your Scott Shire, I mean, this is sort of a double-edged sword. There's another car. That's Ty Marasco down pit road. If you're Scott Shire, Nolan, this race is sort of a double-edged sword. You're thrilled you're in P7, but playoff-wise, kind of middle of the field.
Well, I mean, out of all the playoff drivers, he is running 3rd right now. Once Marasco cycles through, should be back around 4th, give or take. I mean, that's not terrible. The problem is he's on the outside looking in. I mean, the top 4 that are going to be reset in 3 weeks' time, they've all got legs up on the bottom 4. 1 win apiece for Marasco and Pink. That nets them an extra 3 points. Thorpe's got 2 wins, so he gets 6 extra points. And Phil Kilrow, he has 12 extra points compared to the bottom 4. So it's an uphill battle that he's fighting right from the start. One of the disadvantages that Shire's working with, the fact that the 2 drivers above him are, they already had points up on him. So it's not going to do him much good unless he can make something up on the guys further down the field, hence the fierce fight that we're seeing with Sean Williams.
All right, now, of course, remember, Scott Shire's, gaining points on Michael Thorpe. Unfortunately, Michael Thorpe Jr. not here. He is, last I heard, sick in the hospital with the flu, so our thoughts are with Michael Thorpe tonight. Hope he get better soon. He'll be back racing next week if at all possible. But right now, everyone's gaining points on Thorpe, so that's one spot you're kind of like, all right, well, that's good news. You're kind of gaining spots on someone, but you're right. You need to have a good night here. This format, I mean, I know you and I feel different about playoff formats in general. I think I'm more favorable about them than others. That Sikorsky almost made contact right there, but man, Talladega next week, that's the wild card. I would want to pack every point possible I could into this race, so I have as big of an air mattress or a buffer or whatever you want to call it ready for what could be next week. And man, I still can't believe Sikorsky is running the bottom of the apron like that, Nolan. That is crazy.
It's hurting his tires big time, no doubt. You can tell that it's costing him big time here. Connor Gibson's going to get around him without much of a fight. And Derek Paulson could look to do the same.
Good Lord.
They're going at it right now. And how about that? Sikorsky dives it back into turn 3.
Yeah, doing a great job there. I think he's using that apron as a way to try to, stop the car from washing up, almost, if that makes sense. So here, that's the 24 around. That is Paul Sathmary turned around again.
And that's the yellow.
That is a yellow. So here we go again, lap 72. All right, let's see what's going to happen here.
That's going to be big for the playoff points as well. Once all the pit stops cycle through, we'll need to see how that shakes up. But just by himself, loose off of turn number 2.
Wow, massively loose, and they're just going to whip it around to the other side, try to save it. And there's a second time.
Almost kept it off the inside wall.
There it is. All right, well, here we are working another caution here at New Hampshire. I'm sure everyone's coming down. There's no reason you don't pit here. So that's going to be a thing that's going to happen. That's Kilrow, Ping, Sikorsky, Connor Gibson, and more. I'm sure everyone's coming down here for gas. This could be, in theory, Nolan, the last time someone could need gas in this car.
I'm not so sure. I mean, Marasco had to come down on 67. Just less than 10 laps shy of the halfway point. I think you're going to need another splash and go from here.
Right, but it could. I mean, you're going to need some help from some cautions.
True. There's a possibility, but not if it goes great.
Right. Yes, that's fair. Yeah. So here comes everyone down pit road. When people saying, I believe our cars are a lap down or more, who will try and get some of that back. But here's everyone down pit. There's Sikorsky, there's Kilrow, there's Dustin Ping. And you'll see everyone lift the car up at both sides. They'll start on TV left, which is the right side tires. Get in there and get those tires changed. We'll drop that car down, and then the other side's going to lift up. 4 tire stops.
Foster with fuel only.
That's an interesting call.
Yeah, he's the only one, by the way. I can't imagine why he's the only one, but he is indeed the only one. So,
Wait,
Storms.
that's been
Oh boy.
Lacey?
Yeah, who knows? It'll be interesting to see how this
That
one
was a car
comes
still on
out.
pit road. I thought that was Lacey's. That is Lacey's
It
still
is.
sitting there.
Damage repairs? Maybe. He's still in the car.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, damage repairs you can see on the back end of the car, but he's going to get out before he will go a lap down.
All right, there's these cars up front right here. This is Lacey, not Lacey, sorry, this is Bell, pardon me, Hop, and others. These cars are all going to be a wave around. They are in front of the leader, but behind the pace cars. So one to go, they're going to get to go around and claim that lap back. Otherwise, if it went green, they would be right on the verge of going a lap down. And the danger of that is not so much that they're going a lap down. The danger is how hard they're going to race not to be a lap down, and then possibly find themselves, involved in the next caution in the process. That's why we let them go around. They'll get to claim that lap back, and it'll be Kilroe, Foster, Ping, Gibson, and Paulson, your top 5. By the way, Dustin Ping is back up here. Something I think that's kind of quietly happened. We watched all the exciting racing. Remember, he gave away the lead earlier, Nolan, and now he's back up here.
We'll restart the race with exactly 75 laps to go. Halfway home, halfway to go. Green flag is out this time in the Geico restart zone.
So again, their leader took the outside lane, and again, the leader gets a beautiful jump. That's Kevin Foster up there, so he's going to lead us around. But look how fast Kilroe digs to the inside. Digs it, gets all the speed, and is going to track out here, I believe. Yep. He'll quickly pass by and take the lead. Oh my gosh, who is that? That's Michael Keithley. Went from one lane to the other very aggressively.
Jeez, great save for Keithley off of turn number 2 there. 3 abreast, several rows deep as we work the front straightaway now. And they're going to get it back doubled out as we get down to turn number 1. But boy, dicey opening a couple laps.
Wow, Connor Gibson's got cut off there by somebody, and thought for sure there could have been contact there. But here's a battle up front. That's Ben Lacey right there. That's P10. So that's John Osborne up there. That's the rookie Garugio up here, having a good run so far. Listen, if you're a rookie this late in the league and you're up here able to run top 10 all night, even if you finish top 10, that's a good pat on the back to come in here during the playoffs and have that kind of run.
Austin McGill catches the outside wall off of 4. He's going to have damage on the right front of his car now that he's going to have to try and nurse. Like you mentioned, if you can come in here and get a good run going, rookie start in a critical round of the playoffs like this, that's definitely something that you can use to point to say, hey, I could be a big contender later on in the next season.
Yep.
We got a caution.
All caution again. There it is. Yet another yellow, no word yet. Oh, that's Michael Keithley. And oh no, that's just normal smoke. That's not the infamous dark gray and black smoke. Let's watch Keithley. Here's Scott Shire behind him, Ben Lacey in front of him. And here's all on his own.
He's going to find
Wall.
No one else collected.
You know what? That's a pretty good job overall by Keithley to get that thing spun around so quickly. So here we are working another caution here on lap 80. It's one of those cautions I talked about you'd need in order to get help with that gas. Well, they're getting closer and closer and closer lap by lap here. And boy, by the way, what happened to Foster? Foster quickly went from 1st to 9th on that start. As you look at your leaderboard now, boy, oh boy.
Well, no tires on the last stop is what happened.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Gas only. You're right.
That tends to happen when you're on 70 lap older tires.
Yes, it does. Boy, look at the manufacturers here in this league, by the way. This is really almost a 2-manufacturer league. And we got, I think 2 Toyotas left in the race, 3 total, I believe.
Yeah.
You got Sikorsky back in 13th. You got Jaden Hopp back in 20th. Tanner Marr, before he left, was running in a Toyota. So 3 Toyotas total. So just really kind of dominant manufacturers here between Chevy and Ford.
A few cars come down to pit road. And we'll see what they're going to do while we take ourselves with a little bit of a break. When we return, it's more racing action on Green Flag TV. Foss is also in the pit road, by the way. We reckon he's taking tires. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Getting set to return to Green Flag Racing at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Dalton Kilroe leading the way. Justin Ping in the number 2 spot. Derek Paulson runs 3rd. Gibson in 4th. And it's Williams, it's McGill to bring up row number 3. Getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing, this time by... As the iRacing pace car pulls down to the pit road, Green Flag back in the air as racing action resumes once again.
Once again, action resumes once again, and we have a great jump here by Dalton Kilroe over Paulson, Ping, and Gibson, your top 4. I see there's Dustin Ping in the top of your screener in that black, red, and white machine, and then the whole herd's coming in behind him. And I love this track for how many lanes there are. Connor Gibson way down in the banking. Oh, gosh,
lanes that don't exist.
Well.
We're not done yet.
I was just going to say how many lanes are at the track, and Connor Gibson said, hey, let me make one more. And oh gosh, they keep coming so wide. Do they do that stuff though? But anyways, you're making me nervous.
Derek Paulson takes over the number 2 spot. Connor Gibson in 3rd. McGill trying to hang on to avoid drop back to 4th, but he's way up the hill in turn 3. He'll have to try to dive him down to avoid losing further spots. Cuts across Dustin Ping. Beautiful crossover there for McGill to retake the podium.
Great job, man. Connor Gibson's just all over the place. I'm that car is just having a hard time. Maybe he's got handling problems, or if he just, I don't know, but that line and trajectory is just moving all around the track here. But here's Dustin Ping who's trying to, get around him. He's just all Paulson, or Gibson, sorry. We'll go that car, and hold on, caution's out again.
Yeah, that's a day ender for Lakey. You know what? Yeah, probably for the best on that restart, because this is about to get ugly up front here if that didn't happen.
It wasn't about to get ugly. It's been ugly for a few laps now. That
You're
was
not wrong.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, just the way they were coming together lap by lap was getting nerve-wracking. But here's going to be Lakey, and I know Paul Sathmer is going to be involved. Let's see what's going to happen here. Just going to run him over. Yep. And I think Sathmer is going to come back up the track here. I think. Yep, right there.
No. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness.
Yep, so I'm mixing Sathmer, pardon me, and that Skull car, I believe, ended Lakey's day.
Yeah, that'll do it. That is a violent crash. One of the hardest hits we've seen all day.
Yeah, it's been one of them. Fortunately, Lakey kind of starts it on his own by getting the back of Sathmer in the corner. And then it's all just sort of checks around. It was Robert Lukens, by the way, in that green number 33. That bumps him, and then Sathmer tries to correct it. There you go.
Not a lot that Sathmer could have done on that deal. This is what Lukens saw.
Yeah, this will be interesting. He's not going to have any time to react. Watch this. And there's going to be the bump right about there. He's not going to see it.
Never saw it.
Clear, and then that's it.
Jeez. Now that is the epitome of nowhere to go.
Well, it's the epitome of just, see no evil almost, right? I mean, he just had no idea, minus maybe a spotter telling him, hey, there's a car spun on the inside or a car spun in turn 4 is all he would have known.
Foster has finally taken a blessing, by the way, and taken tires.
Yeah, by the way, I got some word here as we were about to go green. He is just saving tires. In fact, he still has one more set after this. He was just trying to save tires for the end of the race. He has more tires. He was just choosing not to use them.
I question that. I don't know why. Especially, you have another set.
Well, the theory is, I get it. The application can be sketchy, but the theory is you let all these guys run out of tires, and you hope maybe for like your final restart or your green white checker that you have a set they don't have. It's what you're hoping for. Now, could the theory be applied in a better manner? Maybe. But that's what you're hoping for as a driver. You're hoping to have an extra set that other people don't have. But, guys, remember, in this thing, you get 4 additional sets of tires. You have the tires you start with plus 4 more sets. So, with all these cautions, that's why you got to be careful when you come down pit road, because you're out of tires and you're SOL here. So, we'll see. All right, well, now it's going to be Paulson, Kilroe, McGill, Gibson, and Ping, your top 5 this time. Man, every time this top 5 is different. Anytime restart. There's been Lacey back in P6, by the way.
It's been an awesome race. I love races like this in New Hampshire. Always keeps you on your toes. Free flying coming out this time by Kilroe. Expected a great launch as always, and as per the norm, he's out by 2 by the time they get to the start-finish line, let alone by the time they get to turn 1.
Watch this here. Maybe not the biggest gaps we've seen Kilroe have, but it's still a decent one here. McGill wants to quickly clear and does, and now that's going to allow McGill to get on the hunt here and see if he can make something happen, because now he is just as clear single file, or was at least, but now there's Gibson digging it way to the inside. Man, Gibson again just leaning on people.
This is insane from Connor Gibson. And
Caution's out again. This is getting a little tedious.
Not sure what are looking like time. Oh, yep. Well, that'll do it. Time race go. We found it. Took him a while to actually come to a full stop. So I'm willing to reckon he was kind of going backwards against the outside wall just to try and make it a little bit easier to facilitate getting around without being in somebody's blind spot.
Yeah, so, boy. All right, let's watch here. Time Rasco's going to be coming around right there. That's John Osborne, I believe, on the outside into 5 it is. And let's see what's going to happen. I suspect Nebraska's going to come up and just try and clear himself is what I think is going to happen here. But let's find out.
Oh, nope. Osborne got loose.
Nope. Osborne got a little loose and tapped it back into Marasco. And, there's the 94. That's how one gets a big shot down the front right, is the 94 of Sikorsky kind of just, bump drafted him in a weird way.
When we think bump drafting, it's usually front bumper to rear bumper, not touching noses.
Yeah. Reminds me of those old, like the bumper car tracks where they don't want you having a head-on collisions, and that's what you just saw right there.
Yeah. Boy, Satmar almost went around. Oh my goodness, Scott Shire got lifted up in the air by Michael Keithley as well.
Boy. Nolan, I know you and I talked about what kind of race this could be coming into it and what we thought our predictions were. You see under onboard view here. Let's take a look and see what this is. Look how fast this is going to happen. This is how fast this track gets clogged. Watch, this is a great example. See a little bit of smoke. You're trying to check up. And that's, I don't know. It's hard to get checked up in time. It's hard. It's easy to criticize from up here and say you should have been on the brakes, you should have done this. But the problem is if you get on the brakes and nothing happens, then you get up a lot of time, right? But yeah.
Hindsight's 20/20, but you were talking predictions.
Yeah, so you and I talked about what kind of race this could be and, what we each kind of thought this race would be. And I know you kind of thought maybe this would clean up and kind of race hard. It's not, is the answer to that question. It's getting a little tedious, honestly. Some of these contacts that are happening here, we just got to check up a little bit. We got to mind our P's and Q's. We got to just, this is getting a little tedious.
So I got 2 questions for you because there's 2 factors that might be causing this. For one, is this because this is a playoff race? And two, is this because they have never raced at this track in this league's history?
It could be that. That's a very good point that I like, which is a lot of drivers here may not know. And it's not a track we visit a lot, even in iRacing official races, for the drivers that do that. So there is that problem. The second problem, I think, is now as time is winding down, we're 2/3 of the way through the race, everyone feels the pressure to get up here and race hard and get every spot they can. But the problem is when you start racing that way, you kind of almost end up becoming the problem and not the solution. Right, so you got to kind of train yourself to back off, sit still for a second, let this race unfold, but we're just not getting there, and we're not going to get there at this point. With 50 laps to go, it's probably not going to get much better.
Well, one can hope at least. Connor Gibson and Austin McGill, they've been going at it pretty aggressively these last few restarts, and well, this time's bound to be no different. Green flag's out, and Gibson well clear as we get down to turn 1. Lacey looking for the inside of turn 1.
By the way, no, we didn't touch on that, and oh gosh, Lacey gives so much contact. Dalton Kilroy just went down pit road, by the way. Dalton Kilroy just put tires in that car, so he is now down in P13, deep off the camera there. But just make that known as they're still 2 and 3 wide back. That's Lacey, that's Gibson, that's Dustin Ping. They're racing hard here on lap 96. And there's another car on the inside. That's the 16. That's Jonathan Canfield, but we're going to stay green.
No caution. Good news. I'll take that any day of the week. Dustin Ping able to take away third. And I think Gibson's tires might have finally caught up with him as he is starting to tumble down through this field. And at risk of potentially jinxing this green flag run, let's take a real quick look back on what happened to Canfield.
Yeah, let's wait and see here. There's the Larry Bell on the outside. There's a 6 behind him. Dalton Kilroy's right there, who just went and pitted. Gonna be nervous. Oh. So what? I got distracted by South Mary being loose, and I kind of missed it, to be honest with you. Oh, there's your yellow. That's one you were skidding there. South Mary.
Speaking of the devil.
Well, never mind. And that car is hopping around a little. He might have some real damage here, but boy, oh boy.
Yeah, what happened there was Larry Bell it was pretty much exactly what caused the last wreck, right? Larry Bell got a little bit loose. Just instead of right rear hooking somebody, he made direct door-to-door contact.
Well, here we go. Another caution to recap here. Let's watch this. There's South Mary again. That light baby blue car. And wow, look at that car wiggle. Like, I mean, that car is just wobbling back and forth. There's got to be probably some handling problems in that car. Maybe from some damage before this moment. And he's just going to lose it right here in the corner, all on his own, right in front of the field. My goodness.
Oh, Jaden just getting out of that.
Yeah, that's something. That's Jaden Hopp's point of view here. He's got to turn to the left already, getting through the corner, This is the hard spot as a driver to make a decision right there, because your first instinct is to want to go to the right because, South Mary was going that way. And then all of a sudden, that car flips around on you, and Hop had to make a last-minute decision to make that happen.
Fuel only for some. Larry Bell takes 4. Everybody else is in for damage repairs. Do you want to talk to anybody under this caution flag? We got some time.
Yeah, why not? So I'm going to pull in here.
We're not devoid of options. Any option would be an interesting one to talk to.
Yeah, let's pull in here. Hold on a second. I got one for you here. Let's actually ask Jaden Hop directly. Jaden, you barely avoided that last wreck with South Mary. What was that like from inside the car?
I didn't know which way he was gonna go, but I mean, I like seeing what I saw because I get another lucky dog.
Yeah, you're on the path. I think I heard you say you got, what, 10 more to go, right?
Yeah, 10 more lucky dogs in the back of this.
Well, I hate to say it's not out of the possibility with the way we're racing. I don't think give it a laps left, but they're definitely going to give you a shot at it, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Hopefully we can keep up this pace.
All right, well, unfortunately, I want to say earlier, how scary was it going by those barrels? I thought for sure you hit those barrels on pit road earlier. How close did that feel?
Oh, that was really scary. I wanted to turn right so bad, but if I did that, I was going to hit the barrels, so I had to like hook a hard left there.
All right, listen, you're about ready to go green. I'll put you back in your Discord room. Good luck the rest of the race, and we'll see how many more you gain back.
Thank you, thank you.
That's Jaden Hopp, and we'll put him back with his friends, and we're about to go green, Nolan.
Austin McGill on the inside, Benjamin Lacey on the outside, Ping and Sikorsky, the main chargers on row number 2. Green flag comes back out. Bit of condensing on the outside line. Once again, McGill gets clear down to the 1, and we're off and away. 51 laps left to go.
Yeah, I thought I saw Sikorsky wiggle that car in the corner. I want to see him watch it go through the corner. I thought that car wobbled in the corner, but I'm not sure if it was just the camera angle or if it really did. Well, that one was pretty steady, but man, he is gaining on Lacey by the second here, trying to get around him. But McGill here leading us around. This is maybe the closest restart we've had as far as not getting a big jump so far tonight.
We have officially entered the final third of this race as well. 50 laps to go as Sikorsky do battles with Benjamin Lacey. One car catches the outside wall coming down the front straightaway just from behind. So we've got a little bit intense there for a little while. Now Connor Gibson stuffs it in on the inside line. Gibson not done fighting yet. And I would expect, honestly, the aggression that Gibson is seeing from a playoff driver, but Gibson's not fighting for a playoff, right? He's just in it for the glory, and I think he's taking that to heart.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking with some teammates earlier before we started the broadcast tonight. We were talking about behaviors as a race car driver and how they affect you moving forward, right? And how you always want to present yourself in the best fashion because you might need help later. And what comes to my mind, Nolan, is that we're a week away from Talladega, where you're going to need some help. You're going to need some pushes. You're going to need some drafting help. You're going to need someone committed to you if you want to win that race. I'm going to be honest right now, if you're Connor Gibson and you're racing this way and you're pinching or door banging or whatever you want to call it, as a driver, I'm going to remember that. And the odds I'm going to push you if I have a choice next week, if I have Gibson on the inside and X driver on the outside, I'm probably going with the other driver. You have to be aware of how you're presenting yourself. And oh gosh, what it could do for you. That's your new rookie driver right there, I believe, who just smacked the wall.
Yeah, that was one of the Guardian cars that just went hard into the wall. Gargiulo kind of getting in there. Larry Bell just got around him, and he's trying to battle that with Tamaraska, but he's going to be caught side by side here with that 65 entry as we make our way down the back stretch and into turn 3. Osborne from behind goes in deep. This line all race long has been migrating further and further up the racetrack the longer it's gone along, and I think some drivers are finally getting caught by how close it is to the outside wall.
And that's the danger you run, right? The closer to the outside you get, the faster the car will go. But the closer to the outside you get, the closer you are to kissing the wall, and it's killing all that momentum, all that speed you have in that moment. See John Osborne there on the outside. Scott Shires up there trying to run around, trying to get some more spots. And what can happen there? Boy, there was Gargiulo again, I believe. That's not Gargiulo. Who's that ahead of him there? That might be Williams who almost hit the wall that time. Yeah.
Dalton Gilroy takes one away from Paulson as well.
I say, here's the story of a run. This is Dalton Gilroy. Remember, he pitted back on lap 92, which is about 14, 15 laps ago, and cautions out again. We'll come back to that. That's Ty Marasco turned around.
Gargiulo kind of going around a little bit as well, although he's able to get it locked down at least.
You know,
everyone else.
I would have thought perhaps the replay here, I've thought came to mind, but I don't know. This is getting aggressive is what this is getting. It's short track racing is what we expect. With Marasco, there's Paul Sathmary.
Wow.
There's Paul Sathmary getting hit again tonight. Larry Bell's going to get stuck on the outside. Yep. See that forming in slow motion. Larry Bell almost, that's how Gargiulo gets hit. Between Bell and Osborne. Just chaos ensues here on lap 106.
Yeah, tough break for a few drivers in this deal, and kind of starts with Rasco getting a bit aggressive, sending it in, and I don't think Satmar really ever gathered that car up. You see Osborne gets in it, Gargiulo takes a hit. Keithley.
I'm not going to excuse the move by Marasco, but what I think happened, we saw this earlier in the race. What I think happens is that Marasco's expecting Satmar to track out more, I think, and have more track to use, and he's sort of surprised by the contact. There's a great avoidance right there.
And like you say, right, it could have possibly been that as well. And granted, we're seeing this from the middle of the corner. If we back this up to the start, he's fully behind. He's trying to go for the over-under here. So he did bait Satmar to taking a lower entry. Trying to just get down the inside to complete the pass, and it just didn't quite go his way.
Nope, not go his way. And you know what? I'm taking back what I said, actually. I said he thought he was expecting Satmar to track out more, but where they make contact, Satmar is not really the point to start tracking out yet, honestly. He was still kind of trying to finish the corner. Boy, I mean, poor Paul Satmar. Some of it tonight, I think one or two incidents was his fault. Some not his fault. It's hard to find a caution. The Paul Satmar has not been pictured in the camera somewhere as this thing goes on. Watch this from the back of the field here to see the wreck happening pretty quickly. And where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Stick still, and you're clear. So a thought came to mind. We're about to go green here as Connor Gibson's now going to lead us around. You and I were talking about how aggressive Connor Gibson has been all night with his bumps and his door bangs and his this and his that. Yet somehow he's never the caution. So take that for what you will. That's not a criticism. That's actually a positive, right? Like, here I'm being critical of how you're driving, saying, hey, you know, you need to make friends, but somehow he's not the one creating the yellows. So that's an argument why he's going to say, hey, I know what I'm doing. You know, I'm racing aggressive, tough, but clean. Do I buy that? Maybe not, but he's definitely got some evidence to go his way.
Now, we'll see in a moment here if that's going to be because he is doing a good job of keeping it with contained, or if that's because the field's just wrecking before he has a chance. But the green flag is up in the air this time by. But once again, hop back to it. Oh boy, Paulson trying to send it on Kilroe. Kilroe goes around the outside of 1 and 2, immediately tries to get the nose in there. Gibson shuts the door. Kilroe makes the cut to go down low into 3.
Yeah, at this point, Gibson's well behind on tires. He pitted lap 74. Almost everyone else behind him pitted in the 90s. So 15, 16 laps here of newer tires is what's going to help out here. And I suspect this time by Kilroe will complete the pass in the corner here. He'll dig down into 1. He'll get more grip. He'll be able to hold the corner better, get on the gas sooner. And there he is. He's clear of Connor Gibson.
And already out in front by a huge margin as well. Paulson now going to fight to the inside. He'll take 1 away from Gibson. Ooh. 3 wide behind. With a few cars, notably Austin McGill, way down low, using all of the apron to their advantage. But McGill hasn't backfired on him a bit as he's forced to drop back.
Yeah, so that car really swaying back and forth as he was trying to get it gathered together. But look at this all the way up to the field. There's Paulson, there's Ping, there's Lacey, there's Gibson. I mean, they're all right here just huddled on top of one another, trying to get every spot they can as the laps continue to tick down here in New Hampshire. Man, look at that dive by Lacey. That's a massive dive right there as he's now inside of Paulson. And we'll see if he can clear this pass here.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is only going to end one way, and it's going to be in tears for one, probably more. Lacey now gets into Paulson up the track. Gibson still trying to hang on. Gibson right now is definitely the cork in the bottle. He's the one that's holding all these guys up, because look at how quickly Ping was able to get clear.
Yeah, that's what new tires do. We talk about it all the time. And some tracks, it feels like you can get away with it. Sometimes it feels like you can maybe kind of fight through it, but not here. Not with how it is important to hold these corners. And man, low velocity, he wiggled it really hard, and that's what allowed McGill to get around him. Unfortunate right now for Gibson, you're just sort of a sinking rock here. You're just going to continue to fall down the field likely. Paulson will be next to get around him. Then Sikorsky, and we'll see if at every point he can settle it out here. But look at this battle right here. This is a great battle between McGill and Lacey as they're trying to catch the 2 playoff drivers.
McGill able to hang on as Foster gets a little bit sideways just behind. But now Lacey able to go around the top side of Austin J. McGill. McGill still with the inside, tracking up, forces Lacey up to the outside wall of the back straightaway. McGill still pulling clear, trying to hang on into turn number 3. He is not allowing Lacey to pinch him in down low.
No, he's not. He's definitely trying to be aggressive. He's trying to, claim his space, claim his turf, as you will, and doing a great job. I think he's going to clear Lacey here into 1. If he doesn't, it's going to be darn close.
And critical
up front, look at this. That is Ping all over the side end of Dalton Kilrow here.
And this is the fight for the lead as they get down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. Last lap by, Ping was 0.3 of a second a lap quicker than Kilrow, and he's going to make full advantage of that. Clears across the nose as we get off of turn number 4, but Kilrow will look to get that nose in just a touch more. Ping will secure in 1.
Yeah, and we talked about new tires. This is new tires again. This is how far off strategy we are, because right now Ping and McGill, the 2 cars in this Kilrow sandwich, if you will, they both have 16 lap newer tires than Dalton Kilrow. So for once, Dalton Kilrow is the one behind on tire strategy.
McGill going to make that look to the inside, picks off another one from the team MFRD number 41. The good news is McGill can afford to lose these points, right? This doesn't change his positioning at all in the championship right now. Sure, he doesn't get as much of a points jump as he would have liked, but this is not going to hurt him right now being in third. This still only helps him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, especially if you look up and down the board. Look at the ticker on the left of your screen. David Lakey's out. Obviously, Michael Thorpe wasn't here. That's 2 drivers you don't have to worry about at this point. And you see, where everyone else is. I mean, just Dustin Ping ahead of you. You're still okay. You're right. I like that analogy to kind of, set that mood in the driver. And hopefully there's someone in his ears telling him that, hey, man, listen, you're okay. Like, we're not going to lose that many playoff points. Stay calm, stay collected. Just don't make it worse.
Way down the field, Larry Bell trying to fight it out with Michael Keithley. Just got to the inside of 1 and 2 and was able to complete the pass down the back straightaway. So some of the battles starting to taper off throughout the field. It looks like kind of settled into the rhythm of things now. It'll be 30 to go next time by at the line, but one more caution and we're probably not going to get another green flag run like this.
Well, I was starting to think in my head, we're almost on the verge, maybe our longest green flag run of the night, it feels like here, as we're now seeing Scott Shire trying to make a pass on the 8. That's Kevin Foster on the outside, and Shire back in P7. Now, Shire, for him, this is a great night, playoff point-wise. He's 3rd in the playoff standings, playoff drivers, pardon me, on the race tonight. So it's going to be good for him to gain some points and some spots as he does make that pass here. Shire is someone who really, I don't want to say he lucked his way into the playoffs, but really has had some good and some bad weeks as far as wreck avoidance. And tonight has been one of those good weeks. And so that's why he's up here in P7.
And hey, you need to have those good weeks if you really want to be able to make something of your race. You need to have that luck to help you win a championship. So the fact that he's gotten it now, well, better late than ever, I guess you could say. I mean, he's having a good points night tonight, and that's not looking to change anytime soon for Shire. Battles on. This is for 4th. It's Sikorsky and Kilrow.
Now, the good news for everyone here, for the first time, I think, tonight, maybe it's just a difference of tires wearing out. Maybe it's the fact there's a few less cars on the track. I don't know if it's people kind of wanting to get this over with. I don't know. But look at all the gaps here on the track. I mean, we got a couple of tight battles here. Look at this. This is Ping and McGill who are racing hard, and we have a couple of small battles, but for the most part this race has calmed down. We have some gaps here, we have some nice bits of space, so more likely I'll say, stay green than where we've been before.
Like we said, right, you only need to get out of the first salvo of laps, and then once you can do that and get into a rhythm, you're usually good for the long haul. Getting sent to enter the final 25 laps as well. Justin Ping, the defending champion, still trying to hang out in front. Austin McGill, though, looking to try to upset Ping's win to go for his 3rd career win.
Yeah, and this would be kind of big in a way. I mean, because for McGill, there's nothing to race for except for a win, right? You're not a playoff driver. You're not worried about the year-long playoff standings. You're out here to win. You're out here to have fun, to show off, make a name for yourself, what have you. If you're Dustin Ping, you're worried about making the Final Four. You're worried about Talladega being next week. You're worried about points. You're worried about who's where. You're worried about who's racing and who's not racing. And you need this win. And so there's two very different mentalities going on in these front two cars.
Dustin Ping is a driver that we've known to be able to pull kind of wins, honestly, out of the hat a little bit, right? I mean, he took a very shock win to win his championship at Homestead Miami Speedway. And then his other win came last week when the race leader made a huge mistake. He was able to sweep through, take the lead, and just cruise away with a walk-off at Watkins Glen in the National. That was 2 weeks ago, right? So, I mean, he's been known to kind of pull these wins out of nowhere. This could be one of the first races, though, where he is started on pole and he's led a good number of laps. This could be a race where we might have finally found what Ping's type of racetrack is.
Yeah, we might find out. Now, what we're going to find out in a moment, though, is how well can Ping navigate some lap traffic. It's going to be probably car by car for the moment, so not that difficult to navigate. But here's Jonathan Canfield. He's going to move way up the track and just let Ping go. And McGill, oh boy, barely got the same benefit. I thought Canfield was going to maybe cut McGill off, but nope. McGill got around. Here's Ty Marasco, by the way. This is back here. This is for P10. That's Connor Gibson had him. Remember, Gibson we saw falling quickly on the restart. He's finally settled in the P10.
John Osborne, Robert Lukens, and Larry Bell are also all in the mix for this battle right now as it stands. So it's about loosely a 5-car fight for this position, but it's quickly turning into 4. John Osborne looking down the inside. Connor Gibson way loose on entry there. You saw the tail end kind of twitching a little bit there as he jammed on the brakes. And that looking like it may have actually disrupted Osborne and Marasco's runs a bit there.
Yeah, it's going to have to. They're trying to check up and not hitting, so it's going to mess them a little bit. Remember, I mean, Gibson last pitted back on lap 74. You see on the top left of your screen, we're on 130. I'm admittedly beginning to question. We've had a bunch of cautions. I would think he's good, but you have to start to question somewhere in your head, can he really make it to 150 on gas even with all the cautions? I don't know. That's going to be a question we're going to find out. You're leaning towards likely yes because of all the yellows, but I wouldn't, bet the house on it.
Gibson is still on the backslide. That much is for certain as Osborne gets clear and Marasco kind of muscles Gibson a bit further out of the way. And I think Marasco is sending a message there. Hey, I'm not going to be bullied around like you were doing with some of the other guys earlier on. I'm a playoff driver and I'm coming through. He's going to take that spot away. Gibson nearly right rear zone.
That's a great run right there by Ty Marasco. He's trying to get up into the top 10. He wants to get up there. He wants to get up there and race Osborne and then race Williams for P9. Man, Gibson again, that can't be by choice. That had to have been because of how loose that car was. He ended up down there with the way that car looked when he came back to the live camera shot. But, listen, we've commented how aggressive he is, but kudos to him. Those tires have got to be beat. Those tires have got to be just worn out, tired, exhausted, whatever words you want to use, eroded, whatever. But he's doing a decent job of holding on to that car. I'm sure he's waiting for the next caution so he can pit finally. But doing a pretty good job overall. There's way worse things he can be doing with that car than what he is.
One car catches the outside wall in the middle of the front stretch. That is Caden Gargiulo. Right on the tail end of Larry Bell. Still up 8 spots where he started his race. So is he in 15th? Yes, but hey, again, up 8. Didn't qualify for this race. Chose to come in here without setting a time. So he has not had a bad run by his own right as well.
No, I'd agree with that. A very decent. He came out here, has been up front at some points tonight, has been involved in the action, but got some broadcast, some TV time. So for your first race out here, that's good stuff. That'll help inspire your opponents so that you're someone worth respecting, someone worth racing against, and what have you. So he's now going to try and make the pass on Larry Bell, and does. Now, it's funny, we talked about 30 laps ago about how you want to set good impressions coming to a super speedway. Well, here's a driver who's a rookie in the league who's really done fairly well tonight, not caused any trouble to speak of. So you would think come next week, he might have an easier time of people showing him some respect around the racetrack.
It'll just be a question, really, of how do these last 16 laps or so go. But if they go as cleanly as the first bout has, it shouldn't be too bad of a run for him. Ping and McGill would then have a second.
Turned around. No yellow. There it is.
Yellow. Well, and that is going to spell the end of any kind of green flag running throughout the course of the night.
Well, good news for Connor Gibson is that that's going to finally let him put some tires on that car. And I think, again, Satmaris just can get loose by himself here out of the corner.
Yeah, all by himself.
All by himself.
Oh, dear. That's a nasty angle to go into the wall at.
Yep. Cautious. That took a while. I saw him get around there, and I called it out thinking it was going to be in the yellow. It took us a moment to get there. Watch again. The car's going to wobble a couple times. Going to wobble to the inside, wobble to the outside. Really not until I think that's... Once those cars went by, that's when they had to put the yellow out for him. So, all right. Well, 15 to go. Let's take a look here as you see who comes down pit road. I suspect everybody. There's Gil. No, not everybody. I lied.
King, Sikorsky, Lacey, Shire, Lukens, and looking like Canfield all going to stay out.
It's going to get interesting. I love this pitting call. Yeah, this may be a question who has tires left, by the way.
Not wrong.
By the way, see that big puff of smoke on pit road? That's Southman. That engine has finally called it a night, whether he wanted to or not. So he is done for the night. Another car out of this race. Again, this may be a question. We talked earlier about how many sets of tires you get. The tires you start with plus 4 more sets. We might be in a situation where Dustin Ping, Lacey, Sikorsky, and others who didn't pit don't have another set left. So I would say it's pretty likely to say Austin McGill is going to kind of bully his way through the field with 14 to go here.
Dustin Ping hunting career win number 3 with the High Tide Race League for the Ping Precision Auto Glass number 81 Chevy Camaro. Started to his outside or to his inside, depending on what lane you choose, will be Season 1 champion Benjamin Lacey. So a battle of title contenders here in this one. We'll restart with a dozen laps on the boards.
Yeah, if you're Dustin Ping, the best you can hope for, honestly, is a bunch of quick yellows. And by a bunch, I mean, what, 3 probably into the race? That's what you're hoping for. Because, again, if you let these cars that just pitted get moving here, McGill, Kilroe, Paulson, Foster, Sean Williams, Ty Marasco, they're likely going to eat up this field. I don't see a way they don't get to the front very fast. Race control reminding the drivers, hey, I know it's 12 to go. Let's see if we can make it to the end.
Now that's wishful thinking.
yeah. I like the internal optimism of race control. That's good. But we'll see what happens. Pace car's down, and Dustin Payne's going to lead us around. And any moment now, green flag is out. Look at that. You see there.
Well,
that's
okay. That's what you get, race control. You jinxed us. Didn't make it to turn 1.
That's the 8 turned around there. That was Kevin Foster. By the way, I'll come back to the moment. I don't know why. I just want to share with you. Ben Lacey, black flag for something. Come back to the jump to start.
Maybe. Oh, he may have, and we'll look at that in a second here. So let's jump back to this, and we'll slow this way down here. Watch
I think
this.
he gets pushed by the 4. Watch this here.
There might have been some games here, because look, I mean, he's already kind of getting up there with Dustin Ping. Sikorsky, I think Ping slows down.
I think Ping spun his tires is what I actually believe happens here. Because it'd be the first time tonight that the leader did not get a jump.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't know.
He didn't pass before the line, though. Usually, I was think he's fine with that, so long as you don't pass him before.
Well, let's do this. Hold on a second. Let's just find out directly if we can. And do it this way. Maybe not. Here we go. Everybody on board here. Let's just ask directly if I can. Ben Lacey, welcome to the booth.
Yo.
What's your black flag for?
It was for passing the leader there, but I actually talked to race control to confirm it. I felt like they slowed up just there a little bit before the green flag went and kind of baited that. So I went and talked to race control about it, and oh shoot, let's see Jaden there. And then that was confirmed there and cleared it out. So
there you go.
That's what that was.
All right, so what's the goal here as we get closer and closer to these last couple laps ticking down? Is it just, I mean, honestly, not disrespectful, is it hoping for a couple more yellows so you can stick up front? Are you worried about the guys with new tires? What's the story here?
Yeah, it's a little tough to pass even with new tires. I mean, we do have, I don't know, probably 20, 30, 40 laps on these things now, so there could be quite a difference there. So cautions will kind of help me out here. I feel like the damage that I had from the earlier incident is holding me up a bit on tires, because I felt like I was saving pretty good there and I just was losing them on it. So I don't feel like I have the tire wear advantage here by any means. So if I can finish with the top 3, I'll take that as a good day.
All right, well, we see your double files about to restart here, so we'll let you get back to it, and we'll put you back in your room in just a moment here.
Sounds good.
All right, that is Ben Lacey, and
It was
yeah.
a little scary, Had.
Yep.
Why typically you go single file when you're racing like this?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if this works out. Again, Ping and Lacey going to lead us around here. Lacey said he got lucky that race control agreed with him.
8 laps the distance. Green flag's out.
That's a better jump.
Much better. Yeah, green flag is up in the air. And we're back to racing. I'm assuming no penalties on Lacey's side this time.
That would be a fair assumption. None up and down the board.
Looking for 3 behind. They're going to get it back doubled out. Sean Williams still trying to find a door on the inside line. While Kilroe tries to go 3 wide, looking for 4 up the middle. Up front, McGill getting a bit sideways, 3 wide for second.
It's a bold move by Kilroe here. Running back in P6, P4, P5, P6. What do you want to see that moving by the second? But does go ahead and clear him here. Remember, this is one of those drivers with the newer tires. He's, I think, the fastest, or the highest position of the new tires here on the board, I do believe. Oh no, McGill's up in second. Look at that. McGill is going to make the power move on the outside. He's going to get around Dustin Ping pretty quickly here.
Good move there. Austin McGill to the point, just behind them. Sikorsky gored Lacey off the track, costed him a podium. And now Kilroe's trying to send it and take forward. Sikorsky slides across the track, and Kilroe gonna go 2 for 2 in turn 1, and Kilroe takes 3rd.
Wow. For sure, he was now going to be clear when he went to go up that track. Oh, there's the doll. Sikorsky is good.
He's not. Well, Lacey's not, at least. And that'll be overtime.
And that's a puff of smoke. I'm not sure if that was. I don't know if that was oddly placed. All that was just from. Typically, I see that from tires, but that was a big puff of smoke out of that car.
I can imagine that's going to cause some words.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lacey's done. Lacey has already exited the race, so another car out of this race. I'm excited to see what happened here. It looked like Lacey got in the back of Sikorsky first. As the Raptor Kilroe got around. They're coming down here. I believe it's going to be into turn 3. Yep, there's the road course. There's turn 3. And then Sikorsky got this gathered together. Does he?
Overcorrected up into him. Ooh.
Well, I'll keep that to myself. I'm curious. I don't want to slander anyone, but I'm curious if that was Okay.
I mean,
I'm curious how much of a correction that was, if you know what I mean.
he was there
I
to turn
understand.
hard left, and he did start to turn back to the left, sorry, for hard right.
Yeah, just saying. I don't know. There's no proof that we've seen more egregious things in the high tide racing league. If that was what I'm saying it might have been, that's by far not the most egregious thing we've seen. That's what you call plausible deniability. That's I hate to say this, if you're going to wreck someone, that's the way to do it, right? I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying if it was, that's how you do it, because it looks deniable that you did it. We saw some shenanigans earlier this season that the proof was in the pudding, so to speak.
Austin McGill has made 14 starts before in his career, and we actually are going to be finishing this, attempting to at least on regulation time, shockingly enough. But 14 starts, this is his 15th. Most of those were made during season 1. He had 3 starts in season 2 and only 1 this season. His last win comes from November of 2023, where he took the win at the Circuit of the Americas. So he is really looking to try and get something working for him. His last overall league win came just earlier this week at Sonoma, the Truck Series elsewhere at Sonoma. So again, he's a road course ringer for sure, but it's interesting to see what he's able to do with this race tonight.
Wait to find out what we like to call an organic green-white checker. It means this is not the overtime attempt. This just happens to be 2 to go. Just sort of works out that way. Now, with those new tires, I suspect he's going to get a massive jump here. But I mean, Dalton Kilroy's all over his back end. Watch this.
Green flag will be out this time by. We'll see if we can make it to the white flag. Not a good launch from Ping. McGill's clear into turn 1.
Yeah, here's Kilroy. He's now clear into turn 1. He's going to try to get up here and race this out and see if he can get up there and make the pass. So we'll find out here. About a lap and a half to go. Dalton Kilroy, you're focused in. You're looking at nothing but what's ahead of you. Don't worry about behind you. Don't worry about if they're wrecking. Just get up there and race. But boy, Dustin Ping is getting swallowed up by the field here.
Yeah, Dustin Ping not in a good spot right now. 3 wide off of 4. Trouble, caution, baby, no! We're going to make it to the white flag.
Bell,
Green
Shire,
cars.
Marasco, Jaden Hopp. I hope you're clear. Yeah, you're clear. Let's watch the front, though. That's just going to be one more time around the back straight. And I think unless McGill bobbles the car, he's got this win. Let's watch it. Is the front straight clear?
It should be by now. McGill comes off of turn number 4, and he will finally take win number 2 in the High Tide Racing League MF Racing Designs Premier Series. And it comes to a brutal end at New Hampshire.
Boy, oh boy. There's going to be some unhappy drivers when this is all said and done. Here's what happened. That's the 65. That's your rookie. There's shot on the outside. Marasco made the contact. That's what it started it. And everyone went around.
Yeah, nothing really the 65 could have done in that situation, as he just kind of got all sorts of tangled up. There's another incident with Derek Paulson that we'll get a look at in just a moment. But for now, it is going to be one Austin McGill who will be able to burn it down on the front straightaway. His teammate going to go up to give his own congratulations. As McGill adds to become, well, he adds onto the list of the repeat winners, the High Tide Racing League.
But that's a great run. That's it by a driver that I said earlier had nothing to lose, right? Come out here, you have one goal today, which is to win. There's no playoff points. There's no worries about where you finish. There's no worries about anything. Just come out here and have fun and win. That's what he did. So the Canadian of Austin McGill is going to walk away here victorious.
I believe possibly one of our actually first Canadian winners as well in this league as well. And probably one of the only Canadian winners within this league. So credit to McGill for that little fun fact on the stat sheet. This is what happened to Derek Paulson on the final lap.
Let's watch this. Here's Paulson in the 6th. He's going to bump Dustin Ping a little bit. Find himself 3 wide. He gets loose and into the wall. My goodness.
Brutal impact there for the 6th, and he failed to finish the race as well as a result of that.
Oh boy.
Well, that'll take us to the close of racing action this afternoon. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results. Derek, it's Austin on the top of the charts. Kilrow, a playoff driver, comes in second. Sean Williams picks up third. Ping will round out fourth, with Gibson, Osborne, Sikorsky, Lukens, Canfield, and Larry Bell closing out the top 10.
And then back here, P11 is Caden Gregulio, and then Scott Schuer in P12. That's the last car on the lead lap. 1 lap down is Derek Paulson. He did not finish. Ty Marasco also 1 lap down. Then Ben Lacey 6 laps down. Jaden Hopp 9 laps down. And then Kevin Foster, Paul Sathmary, Michael Keithley, and David Lakey round out your top 20.
With that, Tanner Marr, Jason Greenwell, Bob Berry, and Brian Dees all not failing to finish this race tonight. What a ride that we had to kind of close things out this afternoon. Overall, a lot of excitement in this race, but I think still ended up being an entertaining one for sure. Not quite the level of what we had in Martinsville, and I think we're all glad for that one. But boy, what a race that we had this afternoon. We'll get a chance to talk to Austin McGill this afternoon as the driver to Montreal, Quebec will come home number 1 this afternoon. And well, Austin, you can finally add yourself to the list of repeat winners in the High Tide Racing League. You've only been running a part-time schedule, of course, so what does this win mean for you this afternoon?
Yeah, it means a lot, obviously. I mean, this is only I think it's my second start. I'm pretty busy, so I can't make many of these, but yeah, this race means a lot. It does.
You come home with a big, solid drive this afternoon. You had to really fight for it there. I know you were getting into it with fellow countryman Connor Gibson a good bit there in the middle of the race, and it wasn't the cleanest of runs to try to get back to the front either. Kind of talk us through what was a slugfest. Do we have Austin McGill?
Yes. Yes.
There we go.
Good.
I think we got him back now. Well, yeah, some slight issues there, I think. But Austin, again, to kind of talk us through the race tonight, because this one ended up being a little bit of a bit of a slugfest this afternoon, and you got into it a little bit with some of the other drivers.
Yeah, very, very competitive. I tried to do something like weird with the strategy. I went like 70 laps on a set of tires. I was just trying to save a set for the end because I've kind of had a feeling we were going to get a bunch of cautions at the end. So I was trying to just make sure I had a set left over. I can use them if I needed them. Clearly that worked out. So my gamble paid off. Yeah, just happy I could bring it home.
Of course, looking forward, are we going to be seeing you at all throughout the rest of this season? And if we're not, will we be seeing you at all in Season 4?
I think I might have to make a couple more appearances this season. I'm definitely going to try to run Season 4 full-time. Definitely something I'm interested in. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
I wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on taking home your win of the night, and we'll talk to you later, unless, Derek, you had anything for him.
Austin, I don't want to pry too much. I can hear the emotion in your voice, and I heard you say this race means a lot to you, and I feel bad for putting you on the spot, but I guess I'm going to have to. Do you want to share what this race means to you? I feel like I can hear the emotion in the voice, and I just want to give you a chance to talk about that if you want to.
Yeah. Might sound that I'm a bit upset. I'm not. It's just I get kind of nervous when I'm racing. I shake a lot. That's normal. I'm used to that. But the reason this race meant a lot was because our teammate Michael Thorpe is in the hospital, and he has been in and out the last couple days. So this is, like I said, one of the only starts I've made this season, and I think it was a good time to make this start considering what he's going through. So, yeah, this one was for him.
Awesome. Well, Austin, great job tonight. I'm sure I know Michael well enough just from a little bit of chat to know he's watching, or he will be watching. So I'm sure he'll celebrate this with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Good job tonight. That is Austin McGill. He finishes first tonight and gets the win. Let's move down the board and catch up with Dalton Kilroe. So, Dalton, this race was a bit of a, I guess, given to New England, a bit of a hockey fight.
Huh. Yeah.
Body checks. There were some elbows thrown. Like
Hockey fight on the high school ice, I guess, because that's what it seemed like. A lot of simple stuff that could have and probably should have been avoided, in my opinion. But not really much I can do about it other than just try to stress to people, hey, don't overdrive the car. But some people just don't seem to get it.
Well, you came into tonight leading the points by 12 points. You're going to leave here tonight the highest finishing playoff driver. So now that we're moving to Talladega next week, that's got to feel good to think you have more of a cushion, right?
Yeah, especially because I've got some fun circumstances I'm going to be dealing with that I'm still not entirely sure what's going to happen next week. But chances are I may have to either start a little bit later, or I really don't know what's going to happen. But I'll be kind of figuring it out. But I'll definitely be using that buffer a little bit going into Phoenix in a couple weeks.
Well, listen, your race control just accidentally set the time, for the server next week for like an hour later.
I can't do that.
I know.
Can't do that.
I know.
we got guys on the East Coast over here that are like, man, we're up way too late, and it's fair enough. Yeah.
No, for sure. Well, a great run tonight. I mean, for a lot of playoff drivers, maybe didn't finish well, so this will be a good buffer for you. So next week is Dega. The week after is Phoenix. If it comes down to having to race your way in at Phoenix, is that a comfortable spot for you?
I mean, I don't like the track. I mean, that's one of like the 3 tracks on iRacing that, in my opinion, can burn to the ground tomorrow for all I care. And
All right.
It's that Thompson and what's I'm blanking on the third. Probably any road course in these stock cars.
Coda. Oh, Coda. Can we burn Coda to the ground? Yeah,
I actually don't mind Coda, but no, it's we'll see kind of what happens. I find a way to run well at tracks that I don't like anyway, so we'll go for it. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, great run tonight in P2, up and down the field, tire strategies played off and whatnot. So great run tonight, and we'll see you next week at Dega, hopefully.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right, there's Dalton Kilroe, and we'll finish this up tonight by speaking with Sean Williams. Sean, all said and done, P3 on the board. Boy, talk me through how this race felt, because up here it felt like chaos all night long. Is that what it felt like inside the car?
That's a great way to put it. It was intense from the first flag dropping.
So how do you manage that when you have a race like this? I hate to use the word luck because I think it's disrespectful to the driver, but some of it's luck. But how do you manage a race like this? How do you keep yourself calm when you have races like this?
No, there's definitely luck. Skill and luck is all of racing, and I got lucky tonight. This is the track I was looking forward to least in the playoff schedule, so I just wanted to finish. And then, with the tire sets, the cautions, a lot of cautions, but man, it was intense. I was just staying cool. I was trying. I don't know. He just drinking some water under caution, calm myself down. But those last 2 laps especially, I don't know how I pulled that third off. The fresh tires for sure helped, but oh my gosh.
And lots of calamity in the last lap. I don't know if you've seen yet, but you'll be surprised if you've not looked yet how close we were to another caution. I think maybe not been good news for you, but it was close. I'll tell you that.
I could feel it coming. I was just praying.
Yeah. So see you third in points after tonight. So you have some space to make up on Dalton. But I mean, a lot of playoff drivers. Obviously Michael Thorpe's in the hospital, not here. Other playoff drivers maybe didn't do well tonight. So does that kind of give you some confidence moving ahead in these playoff standings?
Oh, for sure. Especially since next week, Talladega. I mean, who knows what's going to happen there. So to get a result like this at New Hampshire, which I wasn't expecting, definitely helps. Also, I hope Thorpe, I don't know if he's watching. Hope you feel better soon, buddy. I hope you come back. Missed having you here tonight.
Yeah, we all feel the same. I barely know Michael Thorpe, but I'm sure if he's not watching right now, he'll be watching later. So, well, Sean, great run tonight in the car, and we'll see you next week at Dega.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, Nolan. Well, that rounds up our interviews. A common theme of, shout outs for Michael Thorpe. And I think you and I both feel the same. Hoping he's back next week. Hoping he's feeling well. But wow, what a chaos, calamity, pandemonium. Grab a thesaurus and look up the word crazy, and you could use words to describe tonight.
Now, here's the big question. It's Talladega. Is it going to be any different next week? I mean, I feel like we're going to have less of the single car incident next week, and we're going to make up for that with the scale of them, right?
Big one.
That tends to be the trade-offs with super speedways. You trade frequency of cautions for scale of cautions, and that's...
Yep.
Talladega, right, in the middle of playoffs is always a unique choice, and it's going to be a ride next week for sure.
Yeah, it may only be 2 cautions next week. Now, it may be 2 massive cautions to take out the same number of cars. But I think you're right. If we have this many cautions at Dega next week, and it's a long race, but it's 100 laps next week at Dega, if I recall correctly. It's going to be a long, long race. Hopefully what that will do is that will inspire some drivers to calm down and ride. But we'll see. Who knows how that plays out? We'll wait for next week to find out.
Before we get to next week, though, we've still got more racing action coming on up on Green Flag TV. Coming on up tomorrow night, the MFRD Cup Series makes another regular swing down to the Keystone State. They'll be duking it out at the Tricky Triangle. Pocono Raceway hosts round number 6. And then on Wednesday night, the Beer League swings out to the Sonoma Raceway for the first time in 5 seasons, as they'll be duking it out in wine country at the Sonoma Raceway. Yeah, you could say the home of the Beer League in that sense. The Speed Cup Series will be out at Daytona International Speedway on Thursday for their official season opener. The SRA IAL Truck Series out at the Rockingham Speedway on Saturday night for their 6th round of competition as well. For now, that's all we're going to have time for at the Magic Mile, but what a phenomenal race that we had this afternoon, and a lot of excitement's going to be had next week when we swing out to the biggest, baddest track on the NASCAR circuit. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. Once again, from the High Time Race League MF Racing Design Premier Series, my name has been Nola Rempel, alongside Derek Watson. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll get set to see you when we go racing in Alabama.